Hi, I'm Annie, and welcome to A Gorgeous and Graceful Life, the podcast for women who love a little sparkle but crave something deeper. Here we talk faith, purpose, and real life, real joy with honesty and, of course, grace. No pressure to be perfect, no hustle needed to get into heaven. Just beautiful weekly reminders that God is already at work in your gorgeous life. So take a breath, grab your coffee, and make yourself right at home. Hey, gorgeous, and welcome to episode 4 of the Gorgeous and Graceful Life podcast. I am Annie, your host, and I'm so happy that you tuned in today. So, as you can tell, I am still recovering from a cold this week, but I am starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. God is literally putting me back together one cough at a time. When I recorded last week's episode, I thought I was almost back to 100%, but as it turns out, I hadn't even reached the peak. So I got a little bit worse before I started to get better, which meant I had no choice but to rest. So this week's episode is centered around the idea and theme of rest. Now, I personally have always struggled with what I call midday rest. I have never really been a napper, and I usually have a hard time sleeping anywhere other than a bed. So I'm not a good sleeper in a car, or I'm not a plane sleeper. And I really have to be extremely exhausted to even doze off on the couch. When I try to nap, I often start to think about all the things I could or should be doing instead. And if I'm honest, there's even a little bit of guilt in there that all of this lying around is just a waste of precious time. And this sort of dates back to my childhood as far as I can remember. Now, I went to a prestigious little private school, and there was a dedicated nap time. And we had these professional type cots. And I remember that we had these light green ones, and they were more of the older ones. And then we had the dark green cots that had these nice shiny brass legs. And those were the ones that were like new. And even though I had no intentions whatsoever of actually taking a nap, I, along with all the other kids, wanted one of the dark green, shiny brass-legged cots. And when I think about it now, it's so hilarious. However, it is also very me in that even in a nap situation, I wanted nicer and better things. So, anyhow, since it was a private school, of course, it was very structured. And so our cots went on these numbered areas on the floor that matched our cubby numbers. And the real reason for that was if you ever had a parent or guardian that picked you up or was going to pick you up during nap time, it would be easy for them to locate you and your belongings without disrupting the entire nap situation. And so anyways, when the teachers placed these cots on the floor, you simply got whatever cot was placed on your number. So a cot lottery, if you will. And we would secretly watch them place these while we ate our lunch or while we played after lunch outside. We'd peek through the doors and we'd see like which cot we got. And if I could literally transport any of you back into that time at my school, and if you could just hear the like ahs and the yays and the sighs and the complaints based on which cot we got, you would easily be laughing all the way until next week. So anyways, along with these green cots, we also got freshly washed wool blankets and the little pillow that they give you on the airlines. And I know, a very luxurious experience for a 5-year-old, right? But now, since I knew in advance that I wasn't actually going to fall asleep, I often used that nap time to sort of like think about stuff and imagine things. And when I was really bored, I would try to see how many pieces of lint that I could pull off of the wool blanket. And I know, very type A. I would literally pull them off and count them, and then I would place them in a very neat pile on the cot while I watched the moving hand on the clock go round and around until nap time was over, which was the best part of my day, when nap time was over. And so now, even though like I said, I didn't sleep during those nap times that I had as a child, What I now know is that it was still a time of rest. So, on today's episode, I want to dive in on what rest really is and 4 ways that rest can make you more radiant. So, first, what is rest? Well, rest is not just sleep, as we know. Rest is more like the pause that you experience when you sleep or just lay there, like in my case. It's when you give your brain and your body a recess and you allow it to quiet and imagine or refocus. That's what rest is. And so there are 4 ways that I want to share with you on how rest can make you more radiant. So number 1, first and foremost, rest is a vital part of renewal. Our bodies require a renewal process. This time of renewal allows us time to recharge and to restore our energy. Now, imagine not charging your phone or your laptop for like a whole week. Clearly, we know it would not function, or at best, it would be in a low power mode. And this is what happens to our bodies and the cells in our body when we do not make the time to recharge. It simply doesn't function properly. We don't look our best. We don't feel our best. We have a hard time focusing. We don't make the best decisions, and we feel tired, which is no surprise there. And so allowing the natural renewal process of rest makes you more radiant because you're allowing your body its natural renewal process. And therefore, you look refreshed, you feel energized, and then that sets the tone so that you are ready and resilient for whatever the day brings. Number 2, rest is a time of reflection, and it's also an opportunity to celebrate achievements. Now, one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Genesis 1:31, and it says, "And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day." And I love this because after God finished making the world in just 6 days, friend, he took the time to admire it and appreciate it. And he's like, it's very good. And when you rest and you allow yourself time to think, you'll be able to see the good. But most importantly, it's a good idea because you're able to think about the goodness and the gorgeousness that's all around you and what you have achieved. And I want you to know, friend, it is there. It is there. You just have to rest and pause sometimes to see it. And so allowing yourself rest for reflection and celebration makes you more radiant. It gives you confidence. It generates feelings of gratitude. It allows you to see and feel your progress. And that's really good for you. Number 3, rest generates creativity. Now, when was the last time you had your best idea? I can definitely say that I often get my best ideas when I'm on vacation or in the shower, anywhere where I'm like away from routine. I get real creative. And there are studies that indicate that rest generates cognitive functions that are fundamental to creativity and the synthesis of new ideas. And to put it more simply, what it allows is your brain to think about thoughts and concepts that may not go together and put them together. And then that is what sort of synthesizes the new ideas that you come up with. And so it works by letting the brain sort of flow without limitation or limiting thoughts. And this will allow you to be more creative, and it'll make you radiant in that moment because you can produce new ideas, concepts, innovate. You can just do whatever. It's limitless. But you have to rest and let your brain relax so it can do that. And this is more important than ever, especially in our new AI era, where we've got computers generating ideas, but nothing has an idea like a human touch that is so uniquely from you. So make sure you get your rest for your creativity. Number 4, rest is a divine commandment by God. Now, in Genesis, after God created the world in just 6 days, which I know I mentioned already, but hey, to me, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, we can't even put up a building in 6 days. And so he made the world. I think it's pretty awesome. Well, after he did all that, he rested on the seventh day. And he established that new pattern for all of humanity. And this rest day, or day of rest, is known as the Sabbath. And it's identified as a holy time that is set apart for reflection and rejuvenation. So it's not happening at the same time. It's not working and eating your lunch at the desk. That's not rest, okay? It's set apart for reflection and rejuvenation. I'd also like to add, it's not a suggestion. It is required, and it is an actual commandment. And this, my friend, is noted in Exodus 20, 8 through 10, where God instructs us to remember, and the newer Bibles have it all caps, remember, and in other words, don't forget, girl, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. So if anyone or anything has you working 7 days a week, I want you to know you already have God's permission not to. You literally can be like, per contract, and for my legal girls, it's in writing. This is the Sabbath day. I am off duty. So allowing God's rest, is good. And allowing the rest that he has already required for you will make you more radiant because you will get the healthy work-life balance. The one we all say we want. We'll get it by simply following the instructions that God has already outlined for us. So anyways, remember, rest, it's renewal, it's reflection, celebration. It's the key to your creativity. But most importantly, it's a requirement by God, and it's in writing, friend. So before I go, I want to leave you with your gorgeous and graceful weekly challenge. And so here's what you're going to do. You're going to open your calendar and you're going to schedule in some rest, friend. Now, the most important part of this challenge is that you must commit to it. And don't you dare think about rescheduling it. You truly deserve it. And I hope that it makes you feel more radiant all week long. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Until next time, live gorgeously, walk gracefully, and joy will find you.